It is obviously life-changing. I mean, that goes without saying, Is there anything other than the obvious that changed?
You don't sweat the small things. You don't worry about nothing. I don't get mad. I don't get upset. It's just not worth it. I definitely learned none of it's worth it. You just let it go and move on each and every day.
I absolutely agree with that. Everything that happens is a waterfall. It just drops right off so fast because you just say to yourself, okay, well, who cares? That was nothing compared to what we went through. So it's almost a very nice personality trait that we have gained. It was a learning experience, and thank goodness we really did learn from it. Because if I went through my day and I got upset just because I burned an egg and I kept being upset because of it, I didn't learn a thing. So if I don't handle the small stuff properly, I won't handle the big stuff properly. But I think since we were able to handle the biggest thing, everything else is gravy.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our faith, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to elevate. We sing it loud and proud. We make our voices known. Nothing can shut them out. Elevate. Shout it for you and me. We can do anything. It's time to set us free.
Welcome to a special episode of Time to Elevate. I'm your host, Ann Lucente, and today I'm honored to be part of Podcasthon, where podcasters worldwide dedicate an episode to a cause close to their hearts. For this special episode, I'm shining a light on Donate Life CDT, the Center for Donation and Transplant, an organization that offers hope and healing to donor families in upstate New York and Western Vermont. Their mission is to empower our communities and restore health to those in need of organ and tissue transplants. To help share this vital message, I am welcoming back three incredible guests whose lives became intertwined through extraordinary circumstances. Their stories will inspire, uplift, and remind us of the profound impact of organ donation and the gift of life. So, help me in welcoming Dave Gray, Laura Fisette, and Lorenzo Beronilla.
Hello, folks. How is everybody?
That's always the moment that everybody gets silent. Like, what?
Yeah.
What should I say?
Should we smile, wave?
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna bow, but I didn't think that was appropriate.
Bowing. Anything goes. Anything goes on this. That's it. So you guys, oh my gosh. So welcome back. Welcome back.
Nice to see you
Thanks for
again.
having us.
I'm so excited to see you guys. So I want to say that the last time, just people who are listening who may not have heard the original, we were talking before you were doing the walk in last September, right? The Legacy Walk.
Yes.
And I'll ask you more about that in a minute. But I wanted to say that, Dave, thank you for all my goodies. Lorenzo still has them and hopefully has
I
not
haven't
used
seen
them.
you yet, but yes, I still have them in a box. Thank you for outing me. I appreciate it. Love you.
Yes. I know, and I know that you're getting around and going around because I see you, okay, on social media. So there's no reason.
I am around.
So there's no reason for this. But, so why don't you guys just tell me quickly, because it's almost been, for Lorenzo, has it been a year for you since
It's going to be a year,
big
March
event?
30th. March 30th is my year date. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Very interesting.
So I want to reintroduce you guys just so
Sure.
people can keep up with this because I can so easily jump ahead. So why don't we start with you, Dave? I think that might be the right place, right? Because you came into the picture, then you met Laura, and then you met Lorenzo. Is that correct? Pretty much?
That's correct.
All right. So you go, Dave. You give us a brief synopsis of your life.
I don't even know where to start. I don't know.
He's like,
Start with your condition that led you to a heart transplant.
yeah. Why don't you say what you were doing? Okay, like
I worked for Owens Corning for 37 years, and I started slowing down. I was thinking I was getting old, and I wound up coming down with viral cardiomyopathy, which led me down the transplant path to spend my 6 months, 177 days in the hospital, From that point forward, I just wanted to give back to the community and give back to folks because no one visited me in the hospital that had a transplant. And they're the only ones that can really answer your questions. So I decided to do that. I started going to Westchester every week, and then I started bugging CDT if I could volunteer with them and donate life New York State. And I continue to do it today. That's what I do.
Oh my gosh. So, and this is how you met Laura, right? How did you come into the picture there? How did she come into the picture?
Well, Laura works for Center for Donation and Transplant, and I wanted to volunteer to spend my time with education with the schools and colleges. So I'm on board with Laura now for almost 8 years.
So basically, I've been dragging him around to every public speaking event. I'm kindly referred to as his agent, but he doesn't get paid. And no,
he's my agent.
We've literally probably done hundreds of things together. Amazing. As far as community and speaking engagements, TV, radio. So
I've been on over 263 transplant journeys in the last 8 years.
Really?
Mostly all Westchester, probably 99.9% Westchesters.
Wow.
That's
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, amazing. I'm going to ask you more details, don't you worry. But now Lorenzo comes into the picture. So Lorenzo, how did this happen? How did this happen, Lorenzo?
Yes, for me, how it happened, February of last year on a work trip, I basically had an attack, but I thought was asthma. I found out later that it is not. It was a heart condition. I found myself transferred to Westchester Medical Center, where everybody that I ran into that was taking care of me was telling me about this David Gray. I said, is this a famous person? Is this an actor? But no, they kept saying, he comes around, et cetera, which was funny because whenever you're in the hospital and you have all these nurses who are wonderful nurse practitioners, these doctors who are helping you, all the aides, whatever they're saying to help you out, it kind of gets you through that moment only of worry. See, I'm getting there. Anne does this to me every time she talks to me. Okay, so they're trying to calm you down. They're trying to help you out and kind of keep you positive. But you know very well, they really have no idea what you're going through. As much as they work with the people that it's happening to, they truly can't walk in my footsteps. So what's wrong with me?
Nothing's
medication?
Wrong with you.
I'll say medication all the time. But when I met David, he just said a couple words to me, just walked in and looked at me and said, you'll be fine. I was just kind of like, thanks, okay. It was almost like a hug. And I just could breathe all of a sudden. So I really admire what Dave does and what Laura does for everyone. And I'm happy I can be a part of it. Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm crying already.
Don't be
Where's my
sorry.
tissue box? Where is my tissue box?
Don't be sorry. This is
amazing.
Real.
I mean, it's a life-saving life event that you've had. So it is truly emotional. It's emotionally charged even when you think you're prepared to speak
right.
about it. You
just, I'm a mess whenever I talk about myself. It's so funny. I can play a character, no problem. When I talk about myself, forget about it. But no, I appreciate everything they do. I love the organization. I'm so proud to be an advocate for organ donation, and I will continue for the rest of my lovely life.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Because, what you say is true, and I'm, you're a good friend of mine, Lorenzo, like for years and years and years. And I could.
Well, let's not push it. No.
All right. I said you're a good friend of mine. I didn't say I was a good friend of yours. So you can just talk about that later. No, okay. So I can totally be in it and but it didn't happen to me. So you're missing that piece is what you're saying. So people that can be empathetic and people can understand per se, but not really completely. So meeting Dave and then just realizing that, yes, you will be okay. You can be okay through this, because that's got to be like, for instance, I always say this. I was on a shoot with him like weeks before this happened. And
I think it was 2 weeks. I think it was only 2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks? And you were not feeling good at all. We were in Maryland.
Yes.
So we weren't like right here.
Yes.
And we were in the car and on and all that. And I thought later, oh my God, Lorenzo, on that shoot, you were jumping all over the place.
Our shoot was, we had to dance in our shoot.
Yes. And you had a big backpack on. And I think
I
about
did.
that. That is terrifying.
It
Anyway.
is terrifying. What I feel more sad for you because it's scary. Because
that would not have been good. Okay.
But that would not be kind of me to have anything have happened to me. But again, I didn't know anything at the time, so.
No, you thought you had asthma. You were doing your inhaler. You were like exhausted. Yeah.
Yes,
So really, I mean, thank God for the way it did happen and the fact that happened in that case. You know?
Everything kind of oddly worked out the way it's supposed to. So
yes,
I'm very thankful.
Yes, thank God. So I just want to say too, so you guys all connected that way and you went through this and it sounds like it's so easy because here you are. Oh, you're great. You know, I know, and I know there's a lot you go through. So it is obviously life-changing. I mean, that goes without saying, you know. So has there anything that has surprised you or anything you can share that in this time that you've gone through that we would never even have a clue of because we haven't been through it? Is there anything other than the obviously, you know, just having to recover and stuff? Is there anything that changed
Go ahead,
about
Dave.
you?
You want to touch on that?
I just wish you don't sweat the small things. You don't worry about nothing. I don't get mad. I don't get upset. It's just not worth it. I definitely learned none of it's worth it. You just let it go and move on each and every day.
I absolutely agree with that. It's almost everything that happens is a waterfall. It just drops right off so fast because you just say to yourself, okay, well, who cares? That was nothing compared to what we went through. So it's almost a very nice personality trait that we have gained. It was a learning experience, and thank goodness we really did learn from it. Because if I went through my day and I got upset just because I burned an egg, and I kept being upset because of it, I didn't learn a thing. So if I don't handle the small stuff properly, I won't handle the big stuff properly. But I think since we were able to handle the biggest thing, everything else is gravy.
Yep.
That's amazing.
You truly just don't worry about nothing.
Yeah. It's so true because we, you know, I know I do, and I know lots of people I know do, and you hear like, you know, these things that you strive to be like, I'm not going to let things bother me. I'm not going, and then you realize you go through this huge thing, and it's like that's what life's about, right? Not sweating the small stuff, and appreciating. You probably appreciate more things in your life that you didn't appreciate before, like you know, stopping to smell the roses, as they say, right? Like, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's interesting. I just had to do an interview. I guess I can tell you right now. I have honored my donor, and don't get upset. I'm happy tears. I was picked to tell my story to the world, literally. I was picked for a hero segment for PBS World. And I talked about my journey and my hero. I just taped it a couple days ago. It'll be out in a couple months. But it was my love letter to my hero.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. I
didn't cry until the end. I was, Laura, I was able to hold it till the very end.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Oh my God, that is beautiful.
In my interview there, I had said this was the point I was making was, you know, if you're lucky enough to have parents or people around you who raised you as a child, when you leave the nest, you're not done being raised. You need to continue on, but look who's raising you. It's you that needs to finish the job. I feel as though what happened to me has pushed me many years further, and I'm quite happy how I raised myself. I like who I am. I like who I'm becoming, and I have a big feeling, and I know that it is because I have a donor heart, for sure.
Wow. That's amazing. That's really, I love that. I love that you said that. I never thought about it that way, that you
Yeah.
continue to raise yourself because it's
Oh, yeah.
true, right? You
Yeah.
could go on and you can be, not you, but you can be like, just whatever, bitter about
Yeah.
things or blaming things or like, I have no control over what I become or anything, but that's not true. That's not true.
Well, that's why whenever you're older, your friendship pool gets very small. Not
True.
for reasons of being bitter about people, or your interests just change. That's all. And sometimes something bad happens. But now my pool is these lovely people.
Mhm. I
And
am
this
in
is
it.
what,
I knew
and
I was in
yes,
it. I knew
yes.
it.
And this is what's happening now. Your lovely podcast. It's time to elevate. You're elevating us. Donate life for sure. The Center for Donation and Transplant. So this is my lovely pool, and I'm happy to be in this clique, so to speak. Uh,
It
um,
is.
so, right?
For
Me
sure.
too. Me too.
I
I
definitely
love.
had a lot of new different types of friends over the last 8.5 years, for sure.
Oh
That would have
gosh,
never
I
been
am
in my mind.
sure.
It would have
People you
never
would never ever talk to in your life, and I
been.
find them fascinating. I think they're all really quirky and funny, and I think everyone's so interesting, and I'm proud of them all for handling what we're handling.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Is there something, Lorenzo, that you think that that you can tell people, or something that you never realized about being a trans? Because we've all heard of it. I want to be a donor. I have that on my license and all that kind of stuff. But I think we
Right.
don't really think about it. We really don't. You know what I mean? Like, we appreciate it and we know it's important. But
Yeah.
is there something? Any specific that you think that we might not know that you would want to
Yeah.
share?
Well, it's kind of what I had just been telling you before. They don't really know what we're going through, 'cause they're not walking in our shoes. Do they truly want to walk in our shoes? If you truly do care and want to get a glimpse of what's happening to us, or even be part of our legacy, become an organ donor. It's that simple. You can affect 8 lives donating tissue, eye, organ. I have it up here. If you register, I'll forget, I'm going to cry. Register to become an organ donor, but please discuss your decision with your loved ones. Why? Because, of course, you want to let them know, and it's not a surprise, but you also want to inspire them to talk about it with others. And it will create a chain reaction. So, yes, if you really, really want to know how we deal with it daily and you want to be involved with it, become an organ donor, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
That's what we tell all the children too, to go home from the schools and stuff. Go home
Mhm.
and let your parents know your wishes, yes or no, and you should know their wishes, because
Mm-hmm.
it's always
Yes,
a tragedy. It's always a tragedy. This
yes,
happens in the spur of the moment, so you need to know each other's wishes.
Right,
yes.
because in that moment, I can only imagine for the
Hmm.
family at that moment, and if they know it's your wishes,
It's so
they
easy.
don't
Right.
have to. Right, it's not their
Yeah.
decision. They're not deciding for you. They know specifically that that's your wishes. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. So, so this would be more for, well, it could be you too, Lorenzo, but for Dave, for Dave and Laura. So, is there something that you think is misunderstood by people when they're deciding whether or not to be an organ donor, that you can share or explain?
I think there's several, especially when we're out doing public speaking. And, like, I just was at a high school this past week, and I just asked the kids, what are some things that would hold you back from registering to be a donor? And one of the kids raised his hand and he said, because I don't want to be um, chopped up. But
Yeah.
which sounds like awful, but some people are like, how is this going to affect my body? Am I going to be able to have an open casket? And so I let them know it's very respectful. You can still have an open casket. Another common thing that we hear is people think, well, if I'm a registered organ donor, doctors won't do everything they can to save my life. And it's the absolute opposite. The doctor's job is really to save your life, and they do everything they can possible. And sadly, sometimes there's nothing else you can do. So out of a tragic situation, more lives can be saved. So what else? What's another one we hear?
We always hear about, I'm too old.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want my
But
organs.
you don't want my organs. But that's farther from the truth, because the older you get, you lose the elasticity in your skin. And, and you make a great tissue for the burn victims or breast cancer reconstruction. Skin. You might not be an organ donor, but the tissue is definitely.
And we actually just broke a record last year. Our oldest donor in 2024 was 98. And he had a healthy liver that was donated to a 72-year-old female. So,
wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Amazing.
I get chills. Oh my gosh.
So,
oh my gosh, that's wild. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe that. Yeah, I can imagine. And there's also living donors. Can you explain that? You could be a living donor. It's not.
Yeah. So living donation, the Center for Donation and Transplant, we only do deceased donation.
Okay.
But living donation is when you can still give the gift while living, and it can be a kidney, a portion of the liver, and very rarely a lobe of the lung. But yeah, it's giving the gift while you're still alive. And the liver is amazing because they'll take 60% of the donor's liver and transplant it into the recipient. And the other 40% in the donor will rejuvenate back to its original size. Because the liver, isn't it amazing? And we just started splitting livers when appropriate from deceased donors. So last year we actually had 6 cases that were eligible for sharing the liver. So 60% went to an adult and the other 40% went to a pediatric patient. So we were saved 12 people instead of 6 people.
That is amazing.
When they grow back, they're fully functional within a year.
That's crazy. I had no idea. I knew it did grow back, but I never knew it was that amount, that you could take that amount.
And that's fast.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That is
amazing.
wild.
Well, the human body is amazing.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about it. We touched on it a little bit, but can you guys walk us through what to be an organ donor, other than we all know it's on your license? Is there anything else that you need to do other than tell people? Is there anything else that you really need to do to have that in place?
Not really. I mean, I love that Lorenzo has been trained pretty well. He says, make sure you tell your loved ones, because really that is the biggest piece. Yes, registering is important. It can make your wishes known. But if a family who feels they know you well, and now they're in this traumatic situation where you're approaching brain death, and a clinician comes in and tells them your loved one's a registered donor and they didn't know it, or they strongly feel that you would have never made that decision, it can be difficult. So having this conversation, letting either way too, what if you don't want to be an organ donor? But so either way, just really knowing what your loved one's wishes are, and they should know what yours are.
I think the stigma of it, just a lot of people, it almost sounds taboo, like they don't want to talk about this. It's scary to some people. It's almost a subject that they don't want to. To them, it's, that's a sad subject. I don't want to talk about it at dinner or at a party or when I'm in a group of friends. It shouldn't be thought of that way. I wish the thought process would change. It should be just a very lovely conversation of, this is what I'm doing with my so-and-so life after life. And it shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't be scared to talk about it.
And I agree. And I feel like that's changing to a degree, because now when we're in the schools talking to students, generally a large portion of them will say to us, we don't get it. You're dead, right? So you're not taking them with you. And I love hearing them say that because, I mean, we don't want to sound flippant or anything. These are
Yeah.
people's lives, but it is the circle of life, life
Yeah.
and death. And, if on your deathbed you could save other people's lives, I can't imagine a better legacy to leave behind. I just can't.
See those kids. See, that's why I love, I know it's different age groups that you're talking to, but kids in general, even the younger kids, would just say, sure, I'll do it. Because they don't have any opinions about it later. It's easier to form this idea in their head, or this goal in their head, when they're younger. Because whenever you're older, they've been told so many different things. They have so much stimuli from everywhere. So it's great that you do go to these schools and talk to the kids. That's where it really should start, because it's harder to do the reverse, adult to child.
Right.
Sure is.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed.
That's true. That is true. So, Lorenzo,
Yes.
for people that don't know you, which I don't know who doesn't know you, but for people that don't know you,
I don't know.
you are, and before any of this happened, you are
Sure.
now, but and also were actor, everything. You
Yeah.
were on the run. All that. Tell your life then, like just
Sure.
your schedule in life, and then what happened in the year and where you're at now.
Sure. Basically, people would know me as the winner of Top Chef Amateurs. I am also a chef on Epicurious. And I think that's really where people know me by name, but they haven't seen me. Everybody says, I know you, in several things. I've been in over 326 commercials in my career. So they've seen me somewhere. And I think I'm on everybody's training. Everybody says, I seen you in my training videos. And for work. I said, okay, yes, that was me. That was me. I was Pablo, I think my name was. But they change it every year. They change my name every year. But yes, I have been thrown into the world of culinary food influencer, and that's very powerful when it comes to social media. I did not ask for it in any capacity, and then when this had happened to me, whenever I had my heart condition, whenever I had my transplant, I did post on the internet, and I had no idea the attention it was going to get. I was really just taping it for myself, and then I said I'll show my friends, and it just went kind of viral, if you ask me. And it went out, and all of a sudden I had thousands of new family members in my book. They're lovely people.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. They did a whole thing in the city for you that I came.
They did. Oh yes,
That was
you were there.
that was wonderful.
They did.
I am your friend,
sale.
Lorenzo.
Yes, you are. That's right. They did a bake sale. No, everybody's been
Yeah.
so
Oh my gosh.
lovely. I'll tell you, one of my favorite things I did in the summer was the Donate Life Walk up in Saratoga Springs State Park. That was lovely. I thought I won the whole thing because nobody was around when I went through the ending. I find out I was the last one there, but I was so proud.
That's
I was
wonderful.
so proud to have finished. And that wasn't too long after my surgery. I mean, I had it in March, April, May, June, July.
Right.
Woo.
You
So
were fresh.
my feet became
Wow.
flatter than they normally are because I have
Oh,
flat feet.
oh my
But it was a
gosh.
great accomplishment. I loved meeting the people that were there, their stories, the families, other participants that were either donor families or were recipients themselves. I've met so many success stories, the quality of life people are telling me. They're like, do this, do that. I've met people who do world games. I met people who had the liver transplant. I've been surviving for over 15 whatever years. I love hearing that stuff. You want to hear that stuff
Yeah.
because the statistics, looking it up online, was quite scary. Whenever I was in the hospital, I actually stopped looking it up. And then I said, there was one line. It said, everybody's different. Everybody's recovery is different. And I said, and mine will be too. Mom, I never looked up another thing. And I just said, as soon as I can, I'm going to start walking. I was an athlete before. I'm going to be an athlete again. So I'm looking forward to playing some tennis this summer. I'm going to start pickleball, but don't rush me. I'm only walking. I have not actually run. I didn't run at all. And I had an audition to run.
Oh, shoot.
And it was quite funny. I thought I was in a comedy because I almost I thought it was breakdancing. It looked like I was breakdancing as I was running. I said, maybe this one wasn't for me. We're going to hold off a little bit. But it was almost my mind and my body were not cooperating. And I decided, no, let's just keep going to physical therapy for a while. No, that's, I'm quite grateful, for everything. My recovery, the people around me, the people I'm now involved with, the organizations I'm involved with. It's changed my life for sure. I have a new trajectory. I have new goals. Yes, I love cooking online, on TV. I love doing commercials. But for me, it was so important for me to get my story out in any way. So I love podcasts and opportunities like this. It's fantastic. I love the fact that I also did something for PBS. It's more to share a story. It's less about me. It's more to help others and inspire other people. If your story can help somebody get through the minute, a moment, a month, I will tell my story every day.
Yeah, that's great. That is really wonderful.
That's exactly what I do. Go and share my story to help folks each and every day.
That's just
yes,
amazing.
You do, sir. You do. Oh my goodness, you do. You make me tired.
That is wonderful.
My goodness. But that is great. That is amazing.
And Dave, so you go down to Westchester Medical, right? Am I right about that?
Yes, you're right.
So you go on how often do you go?
A week, 10 days right now I'm going down and then go through all the units, CCU, CTCU, and the fourth floor, and find out who's there and who's waiting and who just received, and visit with their families and stuff. I share my book, my picture book that I made up. I share that with all of them, and that's what we do. Give them my card, and they got questions or answers, give me a call, and that's what I do continuously.
It's an amazing facility too. I just have to say, Westchester Medical Center is an amazing facility. Yes. Just
the people.
When you think about it, also the people are wonderful. They're highly intelligent. They're so gifted in what they do. They're talented. I'm so proud of everybody on my medical team, and so honored that I was under them, their care, or still under their care. But to think that it's happening on a weekly, daily, sometimes basis, when you walk in, someone is getting a transplant of some sort or being treated for some kind of donor and transplant situation. It's life-saving stuff that's happening as we are walking through those halls. You just don't know it. So
right. There's always people in the pipeline. There's always somebody somewhere there.
Yeah.
I've never gone and there's not been anybody.
Amazing.
That is amazing. That is so amazing. Now, about the Legacy Walk, so that happens every year. Is it in the same place every year?
It is. So far, we're almost outgrowing that place, but indeed it is again at the Saratoga State Park. It's September 13th. So we're excited. We hope it's not as hot as last year, right, guys?
Yeah, it was warm last year.
So hot.
It was hot.
It's the hottest that walk has ever been.
It was.
Oh my God.
Poor Lorenzo had to deal with that too.
It was quite. I wanted an umbrella. I wanted a fan. But it was great. It was great just to be outside and participating in such an event like that. And it's a beautiful park, lovely people, and you're part of being involved with a special projects slash organization. It brings joy to you.
Well, and the energy of the people, because we are there to honor donor heroes first and foremost, right? So both Lorenzo and Dave have a donor hero, and then we're surrounded by the families of those donor heroes. So and then there's a bunch of recipients, and there are people who are still waiting on the list, who attend. So, and some of our hospital partners attend. It's just an incredible way to honor our donor
everybody
heroes.
there is touched by donation.
Yeah.
One way or another, everybody that day is touched by donation.
It's like you just feel like, what you said it kind of earlier, Lorenzo, it's like a hug. You're walking through these families and volunteers and recipients, and we're all there for the same.
You feel very safe around them all.
Yeah.
I have to say. It's lovely. It's family.
Mm-hmm.
It's family, correct.
How long has it been going on?
7 years.
Okay, great. That's so great. And you guys, it started with you, with you? Is that where it started?
Yes. Yeah. When I came on board, the Center for Donation and Transplant was doing a 5K for a donor hero. And the family had been pretty much removed the last 3+ years. And they handed over, the family ran it and started it. And then when I came on board, we claimed it as our own. We made it into a walk and a huge event that it is now. I mean, last year we had 350 or more. I lost count people. It was definitely one of the biggest walks we've had.
Wow.
Well,
it was fun. It was actually quite fun as well. I mean, to be honest with you, of course, the message, but it was fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It's going to be bigger and better this year, too.
Yes, bigger and better.
September 13th.
Did you hear that, Ann? September 13th.
I'm writing it down.
We'll see you there.
Will you be there, Lorenzo?
Of course. Are you joking?
Maybe I'll get my things, Dave. Maybe I'll get my stuff, Dave, when I see him in September.
Yeah. I might not end up last this time. We'll see.
No, that's great. Can people, including myself, sign up now? Is it open to sign up for, or is it later?
But it will be by the end of the month.
Okay. That's
Lorenzo, you're going to see it again?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Great.
For sure. I'm going to get I'm going to put some orthotics in this year. And my feet were so flat and it was hot. I have to tell you. But it was great.
Gosh.
It was great.
Oh my gosh. Are there any other events that are coming up that you want to share, or is that the main one?
That really is the main one. I mean, we do have a major event coming up, but it's not open to the public. It is a donor remembrance family picnic. So every year we invite all of our donors' family members to come and honor them. It's an amazing event. We have it at the Altamont Fairgrounds. Last year we had almost 700 invitations that went out with about 300 people RSVPing.
Wow.
It's
lovely.
It's beautiful. It's an amazing event. So we take all of the donors' photos, and there's kind of like you can see here, it's in a big barn, and all the photos are on the wall, and
that's nice.
Have a beautiful lunch.
We have different
that's catered.
Stations for the kids, and
we have kids projects. We have painting rocks. At the end, we have a really nice ceremony, and everybody gets to do a butterfly release.
Stop it. Yeah. Butterflies are like my spirit animal.
They are?
Yeah.
Butterflies are oh my gosh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
That is
hundreds of them go up in the air. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it's in a garden which is dedicated to a donor. So it's a memory garden, and they have plants that are specifically planted for butterflies, which we didn't even think of the first year we did it. So people are releasing these butterflies, and then they're all just coming back down around us. It was magical. So
That's
I love
nice.
that. I
That's
love
great.
that.
And when
That
do you
is
sign up
great.
for that? When can people sign up for that? Is that something that comes in the summer, you said?
So we'll start sending communication out to the families in April, and the event is July
Oh,
13th.
oh,
But I'd
goodness.
love to have you as a guest, Lorenzo, if you would like to come. We can talk about it.
Yes, of course, of course.
We volunteer. We all sit around the tables, and the donor families sit around with us.
Nice.
We sit at
Oh,
the
that's
rock
great.
painting tables or the game tables or the photo booth or wherever.
Oh
We,
my
we do
gosh.
good on the photo booth, though.
Yeah.
Well,
You and me.
Oh yeah, yeah. We somehow we ended up in every picture possible at the Donate Life.
it was great.
It was good.
It,
Aw.
it was fun. It was fun. No, lovely people, lovely events. No, that sounds great. Please sign me up.
And a lot of the families that attend, because this was just recent for them the prior year, they have not had correspondence with
Uh,
their family's gifts, right? So they haven't talked to most likely any of the recipients. So when they get to have a conversation with a volunteer who's also a recipient that day, it's even more special.
That is
So
yes.
that is
Interesting.
wonderful. And Dave,
That
tell
is
us about
interesting.
you mentioned your rock. Tell us about the rock painting because it's not just rock painting. They travel, right?
They do travel, and that all started because of COVID. When I no longer could go to the high schools, colleges, or visit the hospitals, I needed a way to spread organ donation awareness. So I started Donate Life Rock Painting in a Facebook group. I am proud to say we just hit 10,000 members this past week.
That's amazing.
Oh my
It's pretty
gosh,
cool.
that's
We've only
Wow, that is
crazy.
cool.
oh, the things that I've kept track of. I know we've been in 37 countries, all 50 states, and then you got Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C. It's pretty crazy. And the donor families
Oh my
really,
gosh.
really love this group. They've really taken over the past year, putting their loved
That's
ones'
excellent.
rocks in there or QR codes with their stories on them. They put them in a Ziploc baggie, and it's just going and going.
tell them about the one who just met.
And I put that notice out there celebrating the 10,000 rocks for folks to read. And a lady messages me and says, I met my daughter's recipient through your group.
Oh wow.
Oh my
They,
gosh.
she's from Florida, the mom is. The daughter died in South Carolina. And I don't know where the recipient's from, but the mother posts her story in the group all the time, and it showed up on the recipient's page. And the donor mother had sent a picture of her daughter to her in a letter 4 years ago. And the girl saw the picture that her mother is posting in the Donate Life Rock group. So now they're gonna meet in person May 17th. They're gonna get to
Oh
meet.
my gosh.
That makes the
That
group
is
really, really worth everything.
it does.
Absolutely. That's special. That's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. That is really beautiful. Um, is there anything I haven't asked you or covered that you guys want to share? Anybody?
Goodness. A little funny well, is it funny? My very first, I had to start working. Obviously, cleared to work, and the very first job I had was playing a heart transplant patient. And the funny thing is, which I thought was funny, I said they did not know that I was truly a heart transplant,
Oh
and
my god.
I messaged them after they were saying I'm booked for this, and I said, well, if you'd like to see the scars, I'm
Oh my
happy to
god.
sign a waiver.
Oh
And
my
they
god.
it kind of blew their mind and said, "What you are?" And so I literally was, had all my scars showing, and they had a doctor there, and it was just in awe because
That's
it was
crazy.
just a few months out. So is that
Oh my
interesting? The
god.
That's
very
That's
wild.
first job I had.
crazy.
It's
That's
crazy.
that is
Crazy.
It is
crazy.
Yeah.
crazy.
So,
We
yeah.
should also mention that Lorenzo and I worked together on a project with Aculian Creative to create
Yes, I'm
PSA.
glad. Yes, thank you for saying this.
We created a public service announcement for the walk last year, and it actually won an Addy Award.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah, did
my
you see that? Yep, he got an
gosh.
Addy. Yep, he got an Addy.
Just
Yay.
recently, maybe a week ago or so.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is wild.
Sadly,
That,
neither one of us could be there because we due to prior commitments, but
But it's
super
so
oh
fun.
my
happy,
gosh.
so proud, so lovely. Just it's just getting the story out. It's lovely
Mhm.
that we have an award and it's just to be recognized, but the story is important just to keep going.
Mhm.
Doesn't have to be mine. Doesn't have to be mine. It can be anybody's.
Exactly.
That's a
But
great.
That award brought the story back up front again. It just keeps repeating it.
yes,
And that's what I love about
That's what we
it
want.
is
That's
all
what,
those people in the audience, and then again at the nationals who have not been exposed to
uh,
organ donation get to be exposed to
yeah.
it. So very cool.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
yes,
wonderful. Oh
that
my
is wonderful.
gosh, that is wild. So, before we close out with Lorenzo's quote, I'd like to do, if you guys are okay with it, I'd like to pick an angel card. It's just one word that everybody gets. If you're okay with it, you guys okay with the angel
Oh,
cards?
I like this. I
Okay.
like angel
Oh, yeah, I'm
cards.
gonna shuffle, and you you can each go, and you just tell me when to stop, and then I'll tell you what your word is. All right. So, who wants to go first?
Oh, I never heard of these. You want to go?
Want to
Laura, why don't you go?
get?
You go first. Laura.
Okay. All right.
I'm
I can't
shuffling.
do shuffling though.
I'm shuffle. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna shuffle like this,
The
and
little
then I'll
tiny
split.
cards.
They're little tinies. Look, can you see them?
Oh,
Wait,
I
they're
can't
little
see
tiny
them
cards.
because I'm
Without
blocking myself. There you go.
without me
Up, up,
dropping. I don't know if you can
up,
see
Okay.
it. It's kind of bright.
there.
So I'm just gonna do this, and once you say stop, I'll just take where my hand is at that point and just like move the word.
Okay. Stop.
I love this word. Hold on, I don't see if you can see it. Can you see it?
I'll
Is
put
it?
my glasses.
Can you see it
Come on.
or no? It says beauty.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it's beauty. That's for you because you're a beauty, and what you do is beautiful. I love that.
that is nice.
Pose.
That's your word for the year. Does it mean anything to you other than the obvious?
No, I think what's funny is that I had an employee in my previous position that came to work at CDT, and I remember her telling me about working here, and I remember thinking, because nonprofit has been my whole life, and I was like, wow, that would be the ultimate nonprofit job, to say that we save lives every day.
Amazing.
It's beautiful.
Amazing.
It
That
is
is beautiful. That is
beautiful.
beautiful.
My
Oh, I
That
love
is
that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's perfect. All right, Dave, you're up. If I don't drop
Years
him.
later.
Go ahead, stop. Just take one.
These words are great. Abundance. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
My
nice.
lights are crazy.
I got an abundance of life.
That is for sure.
I'm forever grateful to my donor here, and it allows me to give back each and every day.
Oh my
That's
gosh, I love
amazing.
it. That is beautiful. Lorenzo.
Oh, sure. Okay. TikTok. Okay. Go for it.
Oh, efficiency. You're quite efficient.
Oh, that is very true.
Efficiency.
That is interesting. I like that word.
What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. There's a lot going on. I have to balance a lot now with what I used to do to what I do now and what I'm hoping to do for people in the future. So there's a lot going. I love that word. I'm literally, it's falling into place
Oh my gosh.
without me even, interestingly enough, trying very hard. It's happening. It's just happening.
Yeah.
I'm in the right place at the right time. And I am doing my best to juggle all of it. So efficiency
Perfect.
is great. I love it.
That was a perfect word. I love it.
Yeah,
These were
yeah.
perfect. These were perfect. I'm so glad you guys wanted
That's
to do
cool.
that.
I like that, Ann.
And on that note, do you have a quote or a mantra of some sort to close us out
sure.
with?
Well, I gave you that mission statement earlier, but I do have a simple quote. I'm reading it again because I will flub up my lines. I'm better with the teleprompter. Just be grateful for today and know that you are truly blessed to see another tomorrow.
I love that.
I like that
Because
one.
we can so get lost. We so get lost in the little ridiculous things.
In the daily.
And yep, in the daily. In the daily, I wouldn't say nonsense because it's things that we shouldn't get so lost in. It's not the important
Agreed.
stuff.
So
Oh my
true.
gosh. You guys, this is so wonderful. I want to ask, so where's the best place for people to find you guys to donate life CDT? What website or
The
social media?
website is CDT, that stands for Center Donation Transplant, NY, New York, cdpnyvt.org. cdpnyvt.org.
Okay. And I know that people, if they wanted to, can also make monetary donations. It's not just only about organ donation, right?
They can go to the page that's called Contribute and make a financial contribution if they'd like.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Oh my God, I'm so happy to have all three of you here. This is the first time that I have participated in Podcasthon. So this is going to be highlighted. It's worldwide. I'm really excited about being part of this. And this is just, it's so wonderful.
Thank you, Anne. Honored.
Of course, I always have to give a huge shout out to my daughter, Victoria Lynn Purdy, for our powerful theme song for Time to Elevate that she created.
I love that. That's my favorite. I love that, Victoria.
I didn't even tell her anything about it. She just knew me, and I'm like, I need a theme song. This is what I'm going to call it. This is what it's called.
It's perfect.
and
it's perfect.
She wrote it, sang it. I love it so much. I love it so much.
I thank you
you guys
so much. Anne,
oh my God!
for
Thank
this.
you guys so much.
Thank you, Laura, for everything. And we always have time to elevate.
I love it, Lorenzo. I love it.
We always have time to elevate.
Oh my God! And I love you guys.
You have to lift everybody up, each other, every day.
Yes.
And if you notice my rock group, every single rock I've ever done, always say, "Be kind." And be here. I write that on every rock. Yep.
I love that. I always say that kindness is underrated. People don't realize how important that is to just be kind.
And it's so easy. It's so easy.
It is. It's so easy.
Yep.
All right. We will see you again. I know.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye, everybody. See you soon.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our faith, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to elevate. We sing it loud and proud. We make our voices known. Nothing can shut them out. Elevate. Shout it for you and me. We can do anything. It's time to